Hey gang, Redbeard here. You might be wondering why I'm a little crooked. It's because I'm in outer space. I created the space station PvP, and I'm going to show you how to do the same thing. But stick around, because this is a whole series of videos where our first one will teach you how to plan for the build, how to build the room, how to do the circuits, and then how to publish the room and then get a bunch of people to come in and play. This will be a template room, so you can go ahead and grab any circuits you want or the whole thing and remix it, whatever you'd like to do. Alright, let's do a quick tour of the PvP, and then we'll go create something cool. Hey gang, Redbeard here. Today is our second video in the PvP tutorial. Today we're going to talk about building the room. We're going to go from the scale model that we looked at in the last video all the way up to the full-size version. Alright, let's go check it out. Alright, let's talk about building the models themselves. I started with basic shapes, cubes, rectangles, things like that, because really you're just trying to get the idea out. You don't need a lot of detail, you don't need a lot of function, you just want to make sure it's going to work. So one tip I'm going to give you is to build a grid system. These are cubes that are all the same size. I just cloned the heck out of them. And then I put a door in here that's the same as 2 cubes tall. And what that gives you is an idea of how tall the play space will become when you scale it up. Now if you use your snap tool, which I'll show you, then you can essentially turn snap on after you build this model and scale it up really easy, super accurate. Let's look at how that works now. Okay, so let's talk about building on a grid and then how that can scale up. So what we're going to need is 3 cubes, so go ahead and open your pen, go to create, open your palette, and then you're looking for the cube. Next thing you need to do is in settings, so let's look at that real quick. So you're going to go to settings, make sure uniform shape is on, and then you're going to turn your snap to 5. With snap set to 5, you're going to draw a cube out, and you're going to go up 1. So it's that size there. Go ahead and move it down a little bit, because you're going to have 3 of these. Let's clone it twice, and then we're going to recolor 2 of them, just so that we can see them on camera here. Okay, hit done on your pen, and now they're one single object. Okay. Then, on your pen, you hit scale, and on your palette, we're going to go to settings again. We're going to go to settings, and switch this to 10. Now what we do, I'm going to go ahead and move these, because these are going to get quite a bit big, so let's move them away from the camera. And then you'll be able to see what scale will do. So now that they're far away, I'm going to go ahead and open my pen and hit scale. And I'm going to scale from the top of the box, the green one on top. And we're going to go up 19. So let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. That got really big. You could go to 20, it's just a little bit bigger, but this will work just fine. So let's move this to the ground, and I'm going to show you why we did that. Now that the cubes are on the ground, you can see how tall it is, and look, it's almost as tall as a player. So if you do one more cube higher, that'll be a pretty good ceiling height, but remember, keep in mind the theme that you're going for and what you want to build. Okay, so what we learned was to build a cube with uniform shapes on at snap position 5, and then clone it, select them again, and scale them up with your snap position at 10. So what that's going to give us is a quick, easy way to build. So you build your entire room on this grid of snap position 5 and get everything laid out really nice, and then when you're ready to scale it up, you can get it real size very easily, and then you don't have to rebuild everything. You just rebuild the little bits of details that you want to do. So if you remember from our previous video, we made a list of things we wanted to be able to put into the map, and that included bases, doors, a space station, multi-level, and a choke point. But when we're looking at the small model, it makes me think, hey, I should list the pieces I want to build as well. And we're going to do this in a component-based layout, and what that means is I'm going to make one hallway and then I'm going to duplicate it. So let's really focus on making each piece really, really good, and then we can put it together. So by looking at our model, I can tell you we need a hallway. So let's write that here. Hall. And I'm going to start with the hall because then I can put as much detail in it as I want and kind of nail down the look, and then I can apply that to all the other pieces. So again, by looking at the model, you can see we have a base. We have these junctions, so we're going to do a T-junction and a vertical T-junction. And the reason for that is in some of these other places over here, you can see there's a vertical version of that. And this is 1, 2, and then some of these will have 4. So I'm going to put vertical junction with 4. So then some of the other things we need to think about is like the end of each of the hallways. So I'm going to call that a cap. And then we want different variations on the cap as well. But we also want windows. And windows are really good because then you can kind of see from inside the map what it looks like. So we'll put window down here. Window. There we go. Alright, so now you can see the individual pieces that we're going to need to make. And we're going to make those small so that we can scale them up on the grid. So let's go ahead and look at those pieces and see how they all work together. Alright, so I created a new room and I brought the model in here, and I'm doing subrooms to keep things organized. That way you don't run out of ink in just planning. This is my building room, and this is where I'll do all the major pieces and parts and all the details. I'm even going to tinker with circuits in here, and then we'll create the final room and move things into there that we're going to need. So this is the first model. Let's go down the line and I'll show you how this works. I've laid it out in steps so that you can actually come in and look at what the actual steps were. Alright, here are the small pieces that I built. I started with the hallway, and that gave me a place to play and make sure I got all the details right so I could apply those design cues to all the other pieces. Then below that, what we have are the end caps with a window in the middle. Then we have a door. Then we have a 4-way junction. Then we have a 90-degree turn. And the next piece to the left of that is the top of the falling area that you can jump up and down. You'll see that in the gameplay. And then an extension sort of tube so I can make that as long as I needed to. On the end is our bases, and we'll duplicate that multiple times for the room. So next thing I'm going to show you is how I took a couple of these pieces, scaled them up on the grid, and then was able to run around the room and make sure it works. Okay, so I grabbed a couple key pieces, mainly hallway pieces so I can stick them together and make sure everything lined up. But the big part of this test was to scale them up so they were at scale, and then I could run through the hallway and make sure that was going to work. Okay, so this is the really fun part. I took all of those tiny pieces that I put together, and in a component sort of layout, I was able to put this all together very quickly. And what that allowed me to do was to iterate and make changes very fast without worrying about scale or detail or ink levels. So my tip for this one is do that as quick as you can, lay out a map, and then you can duplicate this and do it again, make tweaks, duplicate it again, make more tweaks, and then bring your friends in and have everybody look around and kind of pick which one you would work. What we learned in this one is that 3 bases wasn't great. It was going to cause confusion and lots of running around and not very many battles, mostly because nobody knew where anything was at. So we, in the end, we removed one of the bases. We also found some really cool things about moving from level to level. Jumping up and down is fun, but what we really wanted was a lot of running. So what we did is we changed one of the up-down shafts into an angled hallway, which you can see this piece here, it ends up being the angled hallway. We'll see that in the full-size room. So one thing you can see with this is I still have a couple of the pieces, for instance this 4-way junction, just sitting on top of the hallways. And the reason for that is for speed, right? I was able to lay the hallways out and then get all these junctions into place, but without having to move them in and fine-tune everything at this size. So the next thing we're going to do is select all of these pieces and scale them up, and then we'll go and adjust all the little parts so that things line up and look really good. Let's go check that out. Okay, here comes the fun part. I'm going to select everything in the model and scale it up. And the way we do that is on the back of our pen, we hit select, and then you want to select everything, and then you hit scale and scale it up. But remember, we want to be on a grid. So in our settings tab, we're going to go to position snap. You can put it at 10, but this map is really big, so I'm going to bump it up to 100. Let's see if that works. There we go, it worked. Let's see what it looks like in a different mood for the room. To change the mood in your room, you're going to open your watch. In your watch, you're going to go to this room, setup, general setup, subroom settings, next page, and we're currently on sunny day. We're going to go to space, and that's 2 to the left. There you go. Looks pretty cool, huh? Alright gang, here's a quick reminder. If you like making tutorial videos, get them up on YouTube and then share them on our Discord, and then you can win a cool outfit like this. We've got these other ones that you can win, so just keep producing more and more tutorials and get them on YouTube, and we'll be able to upgrade your outfit to these cool ones.